Tonight, false narratives are spreading. I have some solid movies to tell you about, and believe it or not, we have digital racism. A cinematic class is about to begin. Your professor is in. Greetings, salutations, another sundry affair. I am your cinematic professor and purveyor of truth in movies. And the truth is that Benedict Cumberbatch really needed this film. Folks, I'm talking about a movie called The Courier. This was really good. And if you're the type of person who likes to read novels considered historical fiction, you're going to love this story. It's all based historically around the Cuban Missile Crisis and the conflict between Khrushchev and Kennedy and nuclear war hanging in the balance. Cumberbatch, one of my favorite actors, really stubbed his toe on his last film called The Mauritanian. It was absolutely horrible. And this movie and his portrayal in this movie will put him back up on #1 box office status where he belongs. You know, out of curiosity, I took a look at some history books, and a lot of what went behind the Cuban Missile Crisis is not being taught in schools anymore. I'm not exactly sure why. But you know, at the time, Kennedy had a Secretary of State, Dulles, and his concept and theory of brinkmanship is what really helped Kennedy kind of win the day as far as the Cuban Missile Crisis. This movie explains how he got the information needed to be able to go to brinkmanship. It's really good. And for those of you old enough, like me, to remember that, make sure your kids and your grandkids know about that kind of stuff, because it was really a solid part in American history. Here now is a look at The Courier.
Sounds like work.
No, tell them I'm in my chair.
Yes, he's just walked in.
This is unexpected. I can't believe I'm actually having lunch with spies. I'm just a salesman.
Exactly. You're a civilian, so the KGB won't be watching.
It would be a real service to Great Britain.
What do you want me to do? I'm here to open a door to the top manufacturers in the West. Will I be putting myself in danger?
If this mission was the least bit dangerous, you really are the last man we'd send.
Make sure you wear it while you're in Moscow.
What does this do? Shoot poison darts?
Everyone you meet, assume they're KGB. Every Russian is an eye of the state.
You'll just be a courier.
Just a career for Russian secrets.
From now on, you will be selling one thing. The idea that you are an ordinary businessman and nothing more than an ordinary businessman.
The weapons of war must be abolished before they abolish us.
I am asking you to stop going to Moscow. I am asking you as your wife.
I didn't want you to be involved. What if I get caught? They'd execute me, correct?
We can't get him out. If things were the other way around, Penkovsky would abandon you.
He would never leave me to die, and I'm not leaving him. I'm volunteering to bring back the best source of Soviet intelligence you've got at a time where Russia and America are on the brink of nuclear war.
Maybe we're only two people This is how things change.
The Courier, you're going to like that one. I think it's well worthwhile. There was another movie that came out that dealt with historical fiction. It was called 6 Minutes to Midnight, an all-star cast, and I was really interested in seeing it. This one centers around World War II, okay? So the company sends me a screener, and I try to get on, and it's just not happening, okay? It won't recognize my browser. And I'm like, well, this is very odd. This has never happened before. So I sent a letter, an email back saying, look, I can't get on. What's the deal? I get some hack sends back almost a form email. And the form email basically says that, well, you know, here's what you need to do. Go on to this site. And so, okay, I follow that site. It takes me to the exact same page that wouldn't let me in before. So now I'm going round in circles, and everybody knows no one likes to circle back. So I jotted down a little note, and I said, I still can't get into this thing. You know, the browsers that you were promoting, and it was one company's browser. You know, I don't have that browser, and therefore, you know, I can't get into this movie. Why is it not that I'm on a recognized national browser. Why can't I get on? And I said, it sounds like digital racism. Wow, you have no idea how the word racism gets a response. I got a 3-page email back from the film studio legal department. And basically what it said, after you take out all the gobbledygook, is that they are not digital racists. And what happens is the browser that I use put in some kind of proprietary protocol or something that, the bugs? The bugs are the little company logos they always put in the bottom right-hand corner when you're watching something like on TV or streaming or something. Well, the browser that I use, their new priority, dimmed the bug. Check that. Did not eliminate the bug, just dimmed it. And because it was dimmed, they felt that was an invasion of their privacy and they needed to keep their screener secure. So, out the window it went. This is absolutely ridiculous. Bottom line is, I didn't get it. All right? So if you see a movie called 6 Minutes to Midnight, can't help you with it, folks. It looked good in the trailer. All movies look good in the trailer. You're on your own on this one. If you manage to get in there, I'm boycotting it now. They, won't even let me in with a national browser because they're worried that the bug might... Jeez and crackers. I've been at this game long enough.
May I present the Augusta Victoria College for Girls.
Welcome to Augusta Victoria. There's been an alliance between England and Germany for many years.
What sort of Englishman would accept a post teaching Herr Hitler's League of German Girls?
Sieg Heil! Sieg Heil!
We should keep an eye on him.
The War Office believes the Germans will extract the girls before the end of summer. Keep searching the house. We're running out of time.
It can often be hard to tell who someone really is. Who is good and who is bad.
My girls are not the enemy.
They're German, aren't they?
England can be an unforgiving place.
They are the daughters of the Nazi High Command.
Ich habe meine Befehle. Morgen Nacht.
And you assure me you haven't been compromised?
Stop, please! Germany can't afford the girls to be captured.
A war with Germany will be the end of England.
No one likes a traitor.
These girls give me hope.
And if that wasn't a good enough laugh, let me tell you about Senior Moment. No, I'm not having one now. Senior Moment is a really nice comedy. I got to tell you, this is pretty funny stuff. William Shatner, Jeannie Smart, and Christopher Lloyd. Now, test your memory. This is the first time that Bill Shatner and Christopher Lloyd have starred together since Star Trek III, The Search for Spock. That's right. And they do a nice job teaming up here. It's a good little situational comedy about, well, about getting a little bit older. I enjoyed this one a lot. I think you will too. Here's a look at Senior Moment.
You too old for that car, gringo? All right, let's do this.
I'm too old for this.
I am hereby revoking your driver's license until you're fit to drive.
Open the door. Open the...
Are you okay?
Just getting a beer. I'm going to take the test next week. Pass it with flying colors. Wow. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Artificial flavors, calcium phosphate. I am starting to salivate. You don't look like a bus guy to me.
Judge took it away from me.
Get out of here.
I want to show you something. It's a surprise.
Wow.
Get in.
She's a good woman. You ready to settle down?
What's wrong?
You hanging out with Mr. Artiste.
I really can't handle this right now.
This is not about you getting back your license to drive. This is about your license to live.
What are you doing?
I dropped my wallet.
What the hell's wrong with you?
He's with my girlfriend. That's what the hell's wrong with me. I gotta get her back. Well, how are you gonna do that? Awkward. Huh? Awkward. Awkward.
So now you want me and the car.
That's my car! I've been an idiot. Again. One more time.
What color pills are you taking?
I'm taking blue.
Got to tell you, I had a few laughs on that. And, I think part of it is because Bill Shatner really doesn't take himself too seriously anymore. So he's able to cut loose in comedies, and him and Chris Lloyd play off each other pretty well. You're sitting there watching the TV saying, my God, that looks pretty good there. Hey, I wish I could take credit for this. But I actually owe all the credit to Sam. That's right, Sam at the House of Fairuza Barbershop. He makes me look this good, trust me. And if he can do this for me, imagine what he can do for you. Oh my, you'll be styling and profiling with the best of them. And you know what? If you want, after you're looking this good, you can jaunt on over to the House of Fairuza Cigar Lounge and really have yourself a good time. This place, we're going to run some pictures up, so we have some photos of the inside here. This place is phenomenal. You have big screen TVs. You have all types of gaming tables. The pool table is one of my favorites. Yeah, you can clean up on that. You have your favorite libation, great cigars. I mean, this is the place where you can go and chill and just be yourself. House of Fairuza Barbershop and Cigar Lounge. It's at the corner, Drake Road and South Park Road, right across the street from the Ruth Fred Market. Go ahead down there, give them a call today, and tell Sam that I sent you along. Okay. Let's get back to some movie reviews here. Indie films are hard to make, but I've been seeing an awful lot of creativity in indie films, and this one is no exception. I will call this a high-tech neo-noir film. That's a pretty good description. Chris Kelly is the man behind this movie. He is the writer, the director, the editor, and stars in the movie as well. Let's take a look now at The Tangle.
things. Our light bulbs connected to our automobiles, to our coffee makers, our pacemakers. And then came the tangle. A trillion semi-intelligent nanobots filled the air, the soil, our blood, a hard drive grown in our brains, and everyone was connected, and violence eliminated.
I go to strike someone, my arms would freeze. It would be impossible for I or anyone to kill someone.
Something happened at the speakeasy.
I want you to find whoever did it. The skills they have make them very dangerous.
This movie was an awful lot of fun. I think you're really going to enjoy it. I want to give kudos out to the production designer. I normally don't mention those folks. Eric Thorne has done this, and in order to create a futuristic look, he's actually taken some low-tech equipment and mixed it with real nostalgic items. I mean, stuff from the 20s and 30s to give it a clashing look on the sets. Very, very effective. And it works very well. I really like the concept behind this movie. I thought it was very enjoyable. Now, let me give you a little caveat. It takes a little while to get used to what's going on in this movie. Okay, so you got to stay with it for a while. The first, I want to say between 5 and 10 minutes, you might scratch your head and say, what the hell? Stay with it. You're going to like it a lot. Speaking of liking things a lot, we are expanding our presence on the web. We are now on Rumble. And let me throw that URL up here for you. It's rumble.com/c/outtakes. And you can find us there as well. When you go to check it out, make sure you subscribe to the channel. It's free, but the content, as always, is priceless. And over on the YouTube channel, I'll be doing my March movie wrap-up soon. You'll be sure to want to check that out. Of course, everything I do online is always posted on the Facebook page. Here's the URL for that, and you can follow everything there as well. Pardon me. Okay, let's get on to our next film. This one is one you've been waiting for. It's called The Vigil, all right? Folks, this is an excellent horror film. It is steeped in Jewish traditions, and that adds to the horror element, believe me. And this is part of a new wave of horror films that are known as minimalist horror. It's exceptionally good, and why you've been waiting for it is because we finally unleash Rex Rio.
The Vigil. Excellent horror. Tastier than a Brontosaurus.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה. ועל מה דברה כראותי, וימליך מלכותי, ויצמח פורקני, ויקרב משיחי.
Explain this how I feel as.
You have to leave now.
בחייכון וביומייכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן.
Mrs. Litvak. There is something very, very wrong here. We have to go now.
It won't let you leave.
Mrs. Litvak, what won't let me leave?
The magic. It will make you see terrible things.
תעלמה דברה כרותי, בימליך מלכותי, ויצמח פורחני וקרב משיחי, וחייפון וביוריפון, וחייב בכל בית ישראל, בהגנה ובחיים ואילו עומד.
The Mazik will find another broken person. It will never be behind you.
Good to have Rex back. The Vigil. Hey, don't miss this one. You gonna like it. You know, Hollywood is all up in a tizzy, and they've become way too political nowadays. And it's time sometimes that they just need to pump their brakes. The biggest thing now is hatred against Asian hatred. Folks, this is something that simply does not exist. If you do your research and go back and discover where this all came from, it came from two specific clips where some elder Asian people were attacked by a couple of black people. One was BLM, the other one was Antifa, and this started a statement of there being hatred against the Asians. Recently, there was a very tragic shooting in Georgia, and the media was quick to hype that up as racial. The police did their investigation and found no, it wasn't. The shooter had a rather severe problem and mental health condition, but that didn't matter. The media jumped on it and made it a racial argument anyway, and Hollywood jumped on the bandwagon. The Academy of Motion Pictures released a statement stating how they are against all of this hatred for Asians. Ladies and gentlemen, there's no hatred for Asians. Believe me when I tell you. It is not the narrative that you're being told. In fact, to prove it in motion pictures, there are more Asians this year up for Oscar consideration than ever before. They are being touted as creative individuals both in front of and behind the camera, and they deserve that as well. I contacted the Academy myself and said, look, quit pushing this narrative. Instead of sitting around saying that there are a bunch of white supremacists who are out to attack Asians, which is not true, instead, they should be highlighting all of the exemplary performances that Asians are making in film. You know, the Asian box office is something very important to Hollywood right now, and for decades, the Asian market has put out some very good films. Those should be celebrated instead of a divisive message, which is false. Speaking of the Asian market, how about a guy who has won twice the National Indonesian Kickboxing Championship? Yeah, you should make a movie with him, shouldn't you? You certainly should. His name is Ken Zeng. And boy, can this guy fight. He still holds the record today as the youngest combatant to win that title. And then after he did that, he came back and he won it again. Oh my God, can this guy fight? And this makes for a really great action movie. It has a little twist of sci-fi in it, but this thing is, I mean, the fight scenes, they throw in a couple of what I like to call movie moves, camel kicks, spinning jump kicks. Not realistic, but good for the camera. The rest of the fighting is all good street technique. If you like martial arts action films, you're going to like this one. It's called Insight.
You need to listen to me, Captain, because I'm about to tell you something that cannot leave this office. Is that understood?
All right. But it better be damn good.
My brother and I were born with the ability to see things.
Like clairvoyance?
We have visions.
He's extremely dangerous, Captain.
We need help.
What did you do to my brother?
It's not a suicide. Bao was murdered.
The movie is Insight with Ken Zeng, and his sister helms the whole project, his sister Livy. I think you're going to like this one. Good action flick. You know, that's all the time we have for this evening's show, but on the next show, I have for you another exclusive interview with two young filmmakers who are right at the top of their game when it comes to minimalist horror. You're going to like this one. Don't forget, until that next show, stay in touch with me online through the various outlets there. Have yourselves a very happy Easter. Be sure to spend time with family, friends, and loved ones. And now that you have learned what you have learned, here endeth your lesson.